Right, we are live. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, or good day, anything. Uh, 1 second. I think the studio is clear now. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Otumba Who Latest show. Uh, my happiest, my happiest moment goes to my bosom friend, whom I've known for I was trying to calculate it whether I'm going to over calculate or under calculate, but then we used the age of his firstborn. No, so we're second born, but don't worry, we'll go to
Firstborn.
that. Firstborn. Hello, firstborn, yeah. So uh, uh, and it just tallied that I've known this gentleman for roughly 35 years, in some few days or some hours more. And I'm saying this because yesterday my friend turned 76. And I'm very, very grateful. I'm very, very happy for him. I've sent him the greetings. I need to say all this just because of one thing. One thing I think uh, he and I have in common, and that is the kind of Ejeka Mashidada Omoluwabi. My friend is Omoluwabi kind of a person. I'm not, like I said, for all this number of years. I can't remember when last we quarreled. Yeah, there was one time we didn't get in touch for some reason. I don't know, but it's nothing to do with one bara one ja, one shekinikon. So 99% of what I've ever engaged or done or do or want to do, he has always been part of it. So Alex then did something that is very, very profound, and that was early this morning. 12/12 is a date I normally never need to forget because the 12/12 applied to some other things. But his 12/12 is very, very important. Uh, hold on, hold on. Hello, I'm on air now. If you want to join me, please. Yeah, okay. I'll send the link to you in a minute. Yeah. Yes. I'm get link. I can send it to me. So I'm going to amateur or all this kind of thing. Okay. Let me see if I can get the link and send it. He's here. He's in the studio. Okay, actually. So, sorry for the interruption. It's again one of those things that I enjoy in my show because my show is not that kind of show where everybody say, "Hi, hi, hi, yeah, baby, share you, baby, paju, paju, soon, share, table." I'm nothing against them. Never misunderstand me. Because the next thing I say, kini baba tuni against Lakwaja. No, I'm nothing against nobody. I enjoy them doing their things, and I also appreciate that they're doing what they have to do. And so for me, it's a thing of joy. It's a thing of joy in the sense that at least Yorùbá lọ́wọ́ bọ̀ ní tí Yorùbá lówó lọ́wọ́ tí ò ní nǹkan kan tó bá ti ní ọ̀rẹ́ tó dáa, because àwọn good friends wọ́n worth ju wọ́n worth ju owó lọ. So owó is not everything. So it gladdens my heart. When he called me a couple of minutes to 12 yesterday, I was on a program, I didn't pick it. Then they continued to my mind completely, I forgot. So when he said 12 of December, 12 of December, I went, yay! And so I quickly jumped and said, oh, it shouldn't have not been like that. So move fi àsìkò yìí kí ẹ lórí program mi, Alex Filani Alagba. Well, I mean,
That's a mistake. I'm not Filani.
yeah, you see, when the family whatever is when we met, it was Fulani. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
that
fine,
was a
fine.
long time ago.
That's right. You change it. That's fine. When it comes to deed poll, changing of name, changing of address, blah blah blah, it really is not a major issue. It's not going to create any whatever. Alex Oluwole Ajala.
That's
I
what
want
you have on your screen.
yes, Alex Oluwole Ajala turned 76 yesterday. Again, I'm sorry when I'm laying emphasis or talking about it. It's not. It's a show off. It's only because the Bible does not even recommend 76. The Bible recommended. I think recommends three scores and a ten. Abi. So so olúwa jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí kílíkì 70 75 76 ẹ kílíkì 70 ní ayọ̀ àtàláfíà ẹ kílíkì 75 ẹ kílíkì 76 àti 86 àti 96 because mo ṣàdúrà yẹn fọ́ọ̀rẹ́ mi pé ó máa ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé because he's a nice person, he's a nice man. Um, and the experience I have with him will always be with me till the day I die. Maybe when I call him to say hello to everybody, so maybe you have one or two things to say. So, Alagba Alex Ajala, also I have to say, is one of the very few friends, Timoni, tí ò kì í yọ mí lẹ́nu because of 3 days or 10 days age difference. Àwọn tó kù wọn ní jẹ́ kí n gbádùn. Òun jù ẹ lọ 3 days, go and buy it. Nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ so we chat, we you know, we relate like that. So happy birthday to you all over again, my friend, my dear friend. And finally, before I give you the floor, 35 years ago, this man started, I don't want to use the bothering me, started talking about Yoruba nation. Yoruba láti lọ, òun ti ń ṣe kinní kan, he has been spending money investing in àwọn abúlé ní is it Ekiti?
Akoko.
Akoko. You know, he's been talking about so many things. So, so if you can imagine, I survived him till about 3 years ago. When I turn around and say, hang on a minute, leave this man's product of let us leave Nigeria and move on to our own country. What is in it? So man discovers so many holes in for anybody to wanting to continue to live and sustain Nigeria as a nation. I mean, as a country. It is nothing. It's full of holes. Àpẹẹrẹ ṣe àpá àwọn àpẹẹrẹ míì tán bá hún dáadáa àwọn àpẹẹrẹ míì á tún di tó yẹ pé bá tẹ̀ yìí pọnmi sí ó lè pẹ́ kó tó jò but àwọn àpẹẹrẹ rú being wanting to stay and be with Nigeria yìí ajáde àpẹẹrẹ ni. So then I finally reconnected with my friend on the second level. So the first level was our mutual relationship, and the second level is when we met now and sit down to do the business of wanting to fight and actualize a nation, a unique nation, don't suffer under the abuse of àwọn kan. I don't want to go into that. He maybe when I started asking him questions, he will tell us. So once again, Alagba Alex Ajala, 3 months older than Otumbola Bodosin. Welcome. So I give you the floor. I want you to respond.
Thank you for having me on this show this afternoon. I greet everybody online listening to us. I'm very happy that my friend, my good friend, Otumba Oseni, I'm not an Otumba anyway, so I'm just Alex Oluwole Ajala. I've been offered it, but I refused. I said I will only take it when I know that I qualify as one of those who made sure that we dissolve that country called Nigeria. Because that has been my aim for over 60 years, I would say. And the Eureka light was lit in my brain by my grandfather, my mom's father, when I was in primary 3. He told me something that ìlú tá a pè tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yìí, that's exactly it, pé kò ní rọgbọ́n lọ́jọ́ iwájú o, pé báwo la à ń ṣe elédè kan náà, à ń ṣe oníwà kan náà, a tẹ̀ kí ń wọṣọ bákan náà, ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ la máa ń ránṣọ tiwa. Báwo la ṣe máa lè ṣe pọ̀? Èdè wo la máa fi máa bá wọn sọ? Ṣé èdè ìbò tí àwọn ìbò ń kọ́ wa tá a gbọ́ tán ni a máa bá ara wa sọ? Èké ló máa dà lọ́jọ́ iwájú. And that is the result of what we are experiencing now. Because some of us decided that we want to snatch a British trading post from them and make it a nation. Nigeria is nearly, I'm just giving a prayer. I thank you all for listening to me. I have several recordings on YouTube titled Baba Ajala or Conversation with Baba Ajala and many others. If you type in Baba Ajala on YouTube or Hard Talk Africa, there's many narratives of me about my position on what we should do. If we love the black race, if we love the black race, we need to know that we have to redefine the countries Europeans created for us. They are not meant for development, but we think they can develop. We are struggling and grappling with the fact that we want to develop under a cloud of confusion. And that is what has brought most of us from Africa to being what many people call diaspora. We emigrated from Africa willingly. The earlier wave of our immigration was by direct slavery. Now there's the second wave of emigration now, is what we are experiencing. All because most of us cannot contend with the pressure of supposed democratic rule, which is more than a bordering on the dictatorship and autocracy. And well, I stand to be told not to that I'm not right on what I'm saying. I stand to be argued down on this, but I'm ready to face anybody, anywhere in the world. That has Africa arrived? My answer is no. We are still at the doorstep of trying to arrive. We don't know which way to open it. And to open it is to examine the countries in which you are living in. Imagine the Congo, one of the richest countries in terms of mineral resources in the world. But in terms of human resources, it's one of the poorest. How do you manage such? It's unfortunate.
Well, Alagba Oluwole, can we go straight to the main area that I know you specialize on, and that is A to Z of history of Yoruba. I know some people, I must admit that some people uh, uh, got into professor level, got a PhD, they got everything. But my experience with you is, despite that, the amount of information loaded in your hard drive. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I cannot compare with those who, but like another thing, oníkálukú ní eré àti ẹ̀.
Benny.
Today, mo mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ pè ẹ́ wá pé ká discuss the issue of our struggle, and I choose my word, our struggle, in the sense that if it has not been because of we are still really backward, again, we are not really backward in Africa. Àwọn nǹkan kan wà tó jẹ́ pé it can only be people who are mad. And I stand to be corrected. I stand to be, corrected. Pé n tó sọ yẹn is wrong. Because if some African leaders, of course, even though one is African, if they're not really mad or wicked or having mental problems, they will not, no leader will steal so much money from Cameroon, from Liberia, from Sierra Leone, from Togo, Ghana, so much money, and run with the money to go and buy properties in Switzerland, in Western world, and leave his people to continue to wallow in abject poverty. The same argument, the same thing is happening in Nigeria. It has been happening the last 62 years. And people keep asking the question, kí ni nǹkan tó ṣe dúdú? Why is dúdú behaving like that? I'm in position to ask. I can ask that question because I've seen it all. Judging from my experience in life, I must say a substantial part of my life has now been spent in Europe. But then, if I look back, in time Nepa, time Kosino, I live in one of the prime areas in Lagos State. So, Alagba Oluwole, kí ló ń ṣe dúdú? And I will link it to wípé tó bá jẹ́ pé orí dúdú pé, I want you to connect from there, continue from where I'm saying. Kí ló ṣe wá ńgbà tá mọ̀ pé we have so big problems. 3 different ethnics, different tribes were matched together. And we see that these three people, groups have not forged, they have not made any progress. Kí ló ṣe àwọn dúdú mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yìí tí wọ́n ẹ wà, Alex jókòó, Ọ̀túnba jókòó, Jídé jókòó. We are not making progress. Kí ni nǹkan tó ń dí wa lọ́wọ́? So don't you think pé ó better ká regroup, ká lè rearrange kíní? I want you to continue from there.
Well, I had a chuckle, I laughed. You said kí ló ṣe dúdú, and then you now said the 3 major tribes.
As an example,
No, I would want to say we are not tribes. We are ethnic nationals that have been cut and quartered into some form of territories called countries, which we as Africans turned into being called nations, which is also wrong. If you look at the meaning of nations in the real sense of it, in the anthropological sense of it, it's a people of a common language, which Nigeria does not qualify, a common culture, which Nigeria does not qualify, a common ancestral origin, which Nigeria does not qualify, a common way of life, Nigeria does not qualify for that. So right from the beginning, even the white man who put us together and warned us, I will surmise one of the statements that Lugard himself, who finally created the boundaries, who finally got the boundaries he wanted, I won't say created, who got the boundaries he wanted through an 8-year diplomatic wrangle between the French, British, and Germans, which started from 1880 to 1898, to settle the problem of the boundaries of where they want to set up shop. They came to trade. I will repeat again. They did not come to create colonies. They came to trade, and then they turned those trade in terms of definition to their spheres of influence. That's the second stage. That you as the British in this area will tell the French, this is my limitation. My boundaries covers this area. And the French will tell the German, this is mine. But the Africans in those territories were not informed. Rather, subtly, they went to different kingdoms and provide treaties of trade, protection, and friendship to each ethnic national or kingdoms they went to. So aggregating this together now became their different territories, protectorate territories. And they have to give them names. So one thing, I don't want to go into the expound too much on that because I want to quickly jump to one reality that we as Africans did not think about. And I will say it in Yoruba and English. If the First of all, in English language, if the British did not come to West Africa to create trading posts and after name those trading posts the name suited to them, like the Gold Coast, the Gambia, the Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, there's no way our forefathers would have collected together and say, you Igbo man, Prophet de Yobaso, and you Fulani Hausa, let us come together to form a country. You see, as educated persons, we cannot predicate our being a nation, which we are not, on the language of the foreigner who is controlling the territory before the spurious independence that were given to us. That particularly is very important that we haven't. We have people who did history to the highest level in Nigeria and West Africa and all the rest of the place, but did not touch on that critical point. And that is what is wrong with Africa. Africa is not a country. Some of us mentally think it's a country. And when we are talking, we think we are talking about a single country.
A
And that's
country
why you find
of
that
the
we are
continent.
talking.
Country or continent?
We are a continent of various people.
Mm.
Just like Nigeria is a country of various ethnic nationals. And that's why there's not a language called Nigerian. You have Yorubas that were cut and quartered into Nigeria. You have the Fulanis and Hausas that were cut and quartered into Nigeria. And the same with the Igbos and the rest of them, and those in the middle. I've met uh, a friend from Niger recently. Aptly, he told me that his people in Nigeria, they want to join up with them. That is, the British and French just put a line across their territory and said that is Nigerian and that is Nigeria. Nigerian and it's in French, Nigeria is in English. You see, it's not a complex thing, but most of us who have gone to school, they did not look at all this situation, a dangerous situation whereby you put people who have nothing in common together. It's rather one of the former colonial officers, Peter Smith, has mentioned it in his write-up on July 15, 1998, after Abiola died. He surmised everything, that it was a very dangerous thing and that uh, the continuous existence of such countries, particularly Nigeria, will be causing mayhem, bloodshedding, wars, and perhaps civil wars, which I don't call civil wars because they are wars against each other, against different nations. It is, you fight a civil war amongst the people who have a common agenda, a common origin. You don't fight a civil war the Igbos is fighting the Yorubas. They will kill them without any remorse because they are not there. It says Civil War has a more humane outlook to it. They know we are still coming back together. Look at the situation in Nigeria. It's been very difficult for the Igbo man to come into level of leadership. You see, we are just deceiving ourselves. So there is no way any kind of meeting can make us work together. There's no way. And that is why the development Western region had under under the British rule, that was praised to high heavens worldwide, has collapsed. Free education, free health service, agricultural development, innovations, industrial estates, water supply into cities, and all others have collapsed. What are we? Look at the city of Lagos, a city of approximately 20 or 21 million, larger than most cities, larger than most countries in the world, do not have electricity, no water supply, no sewage system in Lagos, no proper drainage, connectivity in terms of roads, access, connections, rapid movement of goods and services, either by canal or railway. They are not there in that massive junkyard called Lagos. I call it a junkyard. Although you have some beautiful houses, but how is it integrated into what called the modern society of growing cities in the world? It doesn't qualify. So also in most parts in Nigeria. And so there's no reason we should continue to deceive ourselves that we have to be together. Or even it's time now is Nigeria was formed out of an amalgam. And you all know the meaning of an amalgam. It is when one part of a company is failing and another one is doing well, you put them together to take the advantage of oneness. And it has failed woefully. It's rather destroyed Western region that was the sinus of the world, even during the colonial era. That Western region was praised as one of the fastest growing part of a black race. As at that time, it's recorded. Well, unfortunately, a lot of these recordings have been expunged either by request. I will take I will mention one. Look at there's no more bite of Biafra in the map of West Africa. I won't say map of Nigeria. And this was because the federal government, after the Civil War, requested from the International uh, Cartographic Association that the word Biafra should be removed because it will remind the people of the east of a Biafra. It's in their mind. You cannot remove what is in the mind of people from it because you are removing a physical presentation of such in in the maps of West Africa. So to answer fully your question, there's no way we can come together and say, oh, we have been deceiving ourselves with politics, the politics of if you want to have a nationwide party, as the statement was, you must have representatives in all the states or all the regions of the country. It's a joke. When you get there, the Yoruba man who wants to have a representation in Sokoto will look for someone who understands English to translate to the people who wants to join his party that, okay, this is what I want to do for you if I win the election. What if the man translating tells the crowd something else that after my statement, just clap your hands so that he will feel the man who has come from the south telling your people that he's going to give good life to you. And he's telling them, translating to them that, well, don't mind him. He's one of those people from this, and he will be talking slowly. And then, and when he finishes, because it's prompted them, They will all clap, and you foolishly standing, you think you'll get followers. That's what has been happening in the country all over the place. That's the fact. I have tested this statement with many people and right across the country. We are not truthful to each other. If we are not truthful, then we go our separate ways. That was what I told the Emir of Canada when he sent an emissary to me to look for those who wrote a book called, I think the book is somewhere here. I gave it to my friend Body, and at that time he was not interested. He told me that
Which of body are you talking about? Oh?
Bode Hussein is senior. If you want me to qualify. The title of the book was
I,
Southern Nigeria, the Case for Self-Determination.
I remember the book and I read it, but then
Yeah.
I
And
still
then
wasn't.
somebody took it away from you. Uh,
Yes, I never returned it to me.
I never returned it. You see, I do by sent, and then I told him back that, look, we are collectively as a people in Africa and Nigeria in particular, deceiving ourselves that we think we can use the European language that was left behind out of colonization or trading, which is the main thing they came to do, to make a successful government and more success. Because how many of our citizens do understand the language? Is it just few of us who have gone to universities and, of course, fortunately, Western region had a high level of education. But at the time I started school, we started with Yoruba language. We were learning Yoruba and English together as subjects. It was not prime that English was, but Yoruba language was the prime language of our education. And this is one thing that if we have a new sovereign Yoruba nation, we will start all over again. And it's not going to be difficult to start. We're going to start with our language. Groups of people have been translating text materials into Yoruba, and then all these things collectively will use that as a template for our education, and which is going to be free from day one, and some other elements of development, such as free health service to take care of the citizens, will be introduced. The same thing the rest of those of us who are now going to have their own proper independence. And like I said, stressing is the dissolution of the amalgam. It's not. We are not calling for secession because the whole country has collapsed. It's almost a joke politically. We buy representation. Is that what we should be doing in Africa? Your people, the citizens should have a position of informed decision making and opinion to say this is the person we want. He doesn't have to buy representation. And that is what is happening now. The whole thing, in particularly starting from Nigeria, it's a complete joke. Why do you have to buy
Sorry
the
to
that you
interject.
want to
Sorry to
control?
interject you, Alagba Alex Ajala. One of renowned, well, I use the word renowned. It's a well-known media presenter. I've known her for many years. She sent in her birthday greetings, a happy birthday, happy belated birthday to you, Baba Ajala. I hope this is the beginning of the best year and ever. Uh, many all the blessings and love come your way. So, uh,
Can I guess the name?
she's the producer. I mean, she's the presenter. Kilo Shele. Like I said,
Okay, thank you. Thank you
right.
very much. Actually, gone new.
Uh,
And
then our and then the next message they sending is Ejo Baba. Yorùbá ẹ̀yin gan lẹ ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá wa ẹ jẹ́ ká máa sọ Yorùbá so
I will
àti
explain why.
hmm.
Uh,
So
I will
but for
explain
me
why.
in my on my own
Uh,
channel here
Uh,
and I give
with
little
due
thought.
respect to you, buddy, let me explain why I'm speaking English.
Okay,
It is going to be it's a winding down of the trap in which we are. But
okay,
we need to talk because these programs we are doing is not listened to by Yorubas only. The world is listening to us. And that's why I emphatically make statements that I do, because I start to be challenged to see if what I have said about Africa and Nigeria is wrong. Because I understand some people claim that Nigeria, okay, President Obama said that Nigeria must never dissolve or whatever. He does not understand. If he knows the history of Africa, I can challenge him. Now let us look at it deeply. You had different ethnic nationals, not tribes that most people in the West describe us. You had the Austro-Hungarian Empire, where different ethnic nationals were trapped into. What happened? It broke up. It broke up. And this is where we now find the Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, which now again broke up into Czech and Slovan, Armenia, and all others. It is not what we are doing is not a strange thing. We are coming back to the reality of the fact that a fault had happened. Nǹkan tí ò yẹ kí ó ṣẹlẹ̀, àwa fúnra wa la kóra wa sí wàhálà yìí. Nígbà tí òyìnbó kó wa pọ̀, ìgbà tán fẹ́ máa lọ wọ́n wọ̀n wá èyí pé it's the presence of the British that has put Nigeria together, that is keeping it together. That's the statement. It's the presence of the British that is keeping Nigeria together. That was said around June 1953 during the Lancaster Gate Conference.
Mm.
So we refused. Àbọ̀rọ̀ náà sọ fún ọmọlúwàbí o. Nígbà tó ń sọ wípé èmi mo fà yín pọ̀ o. Ẹ mọ́ra yín rí o, Ìgbò ní Hausa ní Fúlàní ní Yorùbá lẹ́yìn. Ẹ̀yin wà ní kíní tòsí bíbà ní nísàlẹ̀, or what you call the southwest. Ẹ̀yin wà lókè. Àwa àti French àti pín yín o, àti pín wẹ́lẹ̀wẹ́lẹ̀, but à ń lọ. Kí ló yẹ kẹ́ ṣe? Is to reassess ṣe ẹ dìde tán, and that's why I'm going to go back to English language again, because the international community is listening to us too. We stood
and
up
that is where I bifted my question to you. Nígbà tí mo sọ wípé tó bá jẹ́ pé dúdú gangan ti ní form of development kan as a spiritual developed people ni, kò sí nǹkan kan tí ó fà á pé lẹ́yìn 100 years àbí lẹ́yìn such a long time tí ó expire ní 2014 pé ká má lè agree láàrin. Yes.
The country did not expire in 2014. The country was supposed not to have lasted up to this length, because from the documents available, either the archives and so on, I didn't steal it, but I bought it and I went to the library to read it, because I'm a member of the British Library and also the National Archive. The statements there by Lugard in 1913, before he came to the territory called Northern Protectorate of Nigeria, because as at the time it came in 1913, it was still not Nigeria until 1st of January, which was a Thursday, 1914. He said that this amalgam is a temporary measure in part and in place. I've been stating this in most of my program. Nigeria is not supposed to have lasted 100 years. If it was supposed to, then we have been a call internationally or through the articles left behind for us to now start to wind down, to dissolve, or to continue. But at that point, the option was to wind down and dissolve the amalgam. So kì í ṣe pé 100 years of Nigerian's existence. It's not true. It's not in any archive anywhere in the world either Smithsonian Archive or the National Archive in Kiwi or the British Library in King's Cross. It's not there. So that's the fact. And èmi ti ń sọ lójoojúmọ́ ni pé nǹkan tó yẹ ká wò ni pé ká dìde, kì í ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ ìjàngbara. Tá bá sọ pé ìjàngbara is like we are slaves to somebody. We are not. Fúnra wa la kóra wa sínú Nàìjíríà, tá sọ pé a máa ṣe Nàìjíríà. So fúnra wa la máa sọ pé a ṣe mọ́. It's an emphatic statement that we have to be giving. We are not begging anybody. And we have to call time. And that is why our leadership should now find time to make an international press conference, both in London here, in Berlin, where the whole mess started. Bismarck, this in front garden, we could request to do that. And the United Nations. These are the steps we need to take. And before we do that, we should also campaign to our people at home. Ká bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ̀rọ̀ nílé. Nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ báyìí ni. Torí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà máa ń believe pé Nàìjíríà wọn làwọn ní, òyìnbó kan wá tó wá gbà lọ́wọ́ wa ni. Bàbá wa kankan pàdé pẹ̀lú Igbo tàbí Hausa láti ṣe ìlú tó ń pè Nàìjíríà. In fact, ibo la máa ti rórúkọ yẹn. Kì í ṣe èdè Yorùbá, kì í dẹ̀ ṣe èdè Igbo. The name Nigeria is kò ń ṣèdè wa. So yẹn ló yẹ kí àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àtọ́ ṣe history kan ti sọ sílẹ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. But unfortunately, they did not see the importance of defining who we are.
Okay.
Ṣe.
Again, Mabino, I need to interrupt you because of time and because I've been getting some feedback. Share, like it, love it. So many people can hear this genius Agbalagba. Well, like I said, when it comes to history and discussing politics and polity or whatever of Africa, he's well endowed. Now, one of the main things I wanted to discuss with you today, Itashi, is just like the appetizer. I want you to walk us through, our viewers all over the world, the process and procedure of declaration of a nation. I want you to tell us what are the process and the procedures, and also I want you to relate to the recent. I don't want to use my own adjective to either upgrade or downgrade or whatever, of what happened when one of the campaigners, let me use that word, decided to choose declaration on internet and made it look like a Yoruba nation has been declared, and she also advertised that people can start filling forms. Let me take notes.
I want to stop you there. The most important part of what you asked me to talk about is process and procedure.
Yes.
Whether any declaration has been done at all is not relevant to your first part of it. It's not relevant. The process of a people, when they realize they've made a mistake of continuing to be part of a body called a territory or a country or a nation as it is, which in most cases is erroneous, is to campaign to the grassroots of these people that there's a new direction and a new future we want to build. If we stand, that campaign has not been very powerful yet. I've been saying it right from the time I joined this new wave of the quest for the declaration of a new Yoruba sovereign nation. I have been saying it that we should interact with people at home. Even though those of us who are immigrants in Europe and America, we call diaspora persons. to me, we are immigrants in Europe and America and the rest of the world. We should assist, since we tend to be developing the position of wanting to find sovereignty for our people, because without sovereignty we cannot really develop. And that's what's happened to a lot of people who have gone home to put things together and then employ people. It all crashed. I have done that too. It crashed. Many people who are even at home are attempting to do this things. It's not working. Rather, they start amassing debts. So the process, first of all, is to campaign, make an awareness campaign to your people, to our people, to see that we need to go, and that the advantages of going far outweigh the advantages of continuing to stay and pretending to be Nigerians. Because in the first place, Nigeria has no language. There are several ethnic nationals. There, like one British journalist in Abuja described, he said, Yoruba group of kingdoms, and the Hausa Caliphate and the Fulani Caliphate and the Hausa people, then the Igbo, I think he said, the Igbo Republicans who have what they call titled chieftaincies, and the Obong of Calabas and all that, all joined together, and you call that a nation. So, but when in the realization of the fact that we can no longer continue, and the fact that every developmental level that we achieved, or even under the British, they did not stop us. They even assisted to the point that building the WWN TV took only 3 months, because the import of things were never stopped. Unlike what we are seeing now, that if a Yoruba man is importing something, they will not offload it. Paula, we all suffered it. Some of you who know, when his goods are arrived in the port, they will not offload it until that of Dangote comes in. These are fast. We can no longer have a broomstick. We should talk out now. And so at some point, Paula just this thing, warehouse got burnt. And that speeded up the death of that old man, a philanthropist who even helped to complete some mosques in the north. That's a fact. You can, if I'm lying, let me know. If you know the facts, this I'm telling you. And that is why we have to campaign to our people. That's the first stage. We have already, the second stage, we already have registered our intent in the United Nations MPO. And then we now, the first stage is to do press conferences worldwide, not just online things that we are doing and meetings. You do unfortunately, COVID affected the arrangement for the press conferences. Now we can't do it. Do press conferences, and we have to prove to the world that keeping Nigeria as an entity is an anathema to development in Africa. That is a fact. Keeping that, in fact, Jopo Senghor said it in 1988. It was published in the Economist newspaper magazine around that time. I had a copy, but unfortunately, I cannot find the copy. I kept it for so long. But when we are moving left, right, and center, I can't find it. He said that for Africa to develop.
You did not give me that one. No, it's not me.
I'm sorry about that. Of course, that time I said I was going to come and carry your load to Sokoto if you keep on telling me that you believe in Nigeria. And I asked you, was Nigeria a shigidi that we worship? So, of course, there's so much to say about the fact that we ignore the danger in which we are. We were dancing Kokoma when even, what's his name? Ahmadu Bello was saying on the October 12, 1960, just 11 days after the so-called independence, was saying that this country called Nigeria should be an estate of their great-grandfather Usman Dan Fodio. Most of you know this quote, and that those of us in the South will not be allowed to think of our own future outside that entrapment to them. And this is something they have planned since 1804. These are facts of history, which we ignore to our peril. Rather, we were dancing around, or even before independence by 1946, most of our people from the South were going around Nigeria and talking about Nigerian nationalism, instead of talking about Yoruba nationalism. The Yoruba man saying Nigerian nationalism does not know any word of Fulani language or Hausa language or Igbo language. How can that be nationalism in the first place? Is it just the territory or the bounding that is called the boundary of Nigeria that is national? Is it an entity? It is not. So we Africans have made biggest mistake retaining the countries that were created in which we live in. In 1964, the communique from the OAU was, I will say that in Yoruba too, was that they were going to keep all the countries created for them by the Europeans. And so they did not think back. So are we now going to start teaching every citizen of those countries the European language that were also left behind? Have we been able to succeed in teaching every citizen and tell them they are pseudo English people or pseudo French people or pseudo Spanish or pseudo Portuguese? You see, the African, that is, those people in Africa, because there's not a single African. There are people in Africa. There are the Arabs in the north. There's the Yorubas in the southwest along the coast, the Fulani and the Hausa people in the northern part, and broken into two called Nigeria, of which they two in Nigeria are proposing that they want to form a new country. That's a movement going on that we are ignoring to our peril. And the fact that Nigeria has already been dissolved since 1980, 2018. That's the fact, nobody can dispute it. And to prove it also, the Federal House of Rep votes regularly to fund projects in Niger because it's already part of the greater Nigeria or greater Niger. So whichever you want to pick. So those are for them campaigning. Are they going to campaign in Niamey or Zenda or Maradi? Are they going there? Because the people in Maradi, Zenda, and Niamey have already got your PVC and the NIN. We are ignoring all these grave dangers. They're dancing around that we want an election. This is time
And
for the
we
dissolution.
have been openly sponsoring, paying for some of their projects, like
That's what I'm saying.
the
Our
land on the park.
budgetary accounts are made at the federal level for Niger. So those of them campaigning shouldn't think twice. Are they going to go and campaign in Niger also? The PDP, the Labour, and have they forgotten that they have an extension of Nigeria in Niger? There's an extension of Nigeria in Niger. That's why when they close borders in the south, in the western part and the eastern part, the northern borders are not closed because it's an extension of Nigeria. These are facts that cannot be disputed, and these are things that we have to bring to the attention of the international community. We are, in fact, literally, Nigeria has already been dissolved. So we have to make an awareness to our people to know that it's been dissolved. The steps I said we should take, and then call for a referendum amongst our people that this is the time out. We time out the country. We are not begging to leave. We are asserting our right to quit a failed amalgam. We have to assert that right. So those are the steps we have to take. The last one, and then there must be, after the press conferences, there'll be an ascertainment of the will of the people by referendum.
Yeah,
So
but
they have not declared anything yet.
okay. I want that part area bẹ́ẹ̀ mo fẹ́ kó tún bá mi repeat ẹ̀ fún àwọn èèyàn wa, especially àwọn tí wọ́n ti believe, tán ti gbàgbọ́ wípé ẹnìkan, I'm sorry, I don't need to mention anybody, wípé ẹnìkan ti declare.
You don't have to mention any name.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wípé
Yeah,
ìtorí àwọn èèyàn kan gbà, àwọn èèyàn kan believe nísìn, kódà àwọn kan ń bára wọn jà, wọ́n believe nísìn pé ẹnìkan ti declare wípé àti ní nation wa báyìí. Bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi àti ẹ ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn.
Okay.
Nation wa.
Now, if we actually, let's go to that level of what I would call, it's not a ridicule, it's an unknowing. That's what I would say. Etí Yorùbá máa sọ pé
Yorùbá
Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ó pẹ́ kó tó yé wa pé ìgbésẹ̀ tá a gbé yìí kì í ṣe ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ ká gbé. That òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ nìyẹn.
Kò yé mi ẹ má bínú, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣe wà pé àti mo agree pẹ̀lú yín pé a máa sọ òyìnbó à ń sọ òyìnbó, but I keep getting message pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bàbá mi ẹ bá wa ẹ má worry, ẹ bá wa tún fi mọ́ Yorùbá into ten, so because like I said, àwọn tí ẹni tó declare tó lọ declare lórí internet níwájú blogger, àwọn èèyàn kan gbàgbọ́ wípé ńsìn bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ ńsìn iṣẹ́ wípé Yorùbá nation àti gbà á.
Mo rò bí torí pé kí ni tán lọ́wọ́ sign 5 million tán lọ́ sign, which cannot be attested to. If that 5 million was true, that's the first stage. And who did we present that 5 million to? Hold on. Who ordered that 5 million signatures should be done? Even if we wanted it ourselves, we can present it. I gbọ́dọ̀ lọ fún United Nations because àgbájọ àwọn ìlú yòókù tó ń jẹ́ United Nations la wà currently as so-called Nigerians. So ṣé a ti fún wọn pé ṣé wọ́n ti gbà pé òótọ́ ni ẹ lè máa lọ, torí mo rí pé wọ́n fi population 32 million ṣe kíni benchmark láti sọ pé 5 million yẹn tó, but we are not 32 million. That's another falsehood. So a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe nǹkan wa létòlétò àti ṣe torí gbogbo nǹkan tó yẹ kó yé wa àjẹ́ kó yé wa torí à ń kánjú. Ìkánjú yẹn kó má jẹ́ kó wá sínú kòtò, lágbára Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè àní kó sínú kòtò.
Àmín. Bàbá Àjàlá mo sọ̀rọ̀ láti máa gbọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ yín lẹ́nu, ẹ má bínú. Ohun tí mo ṣe gbé program yìí wá ni wípé àníṣe ní Yorùbá, àníṣe àwọn kan ti ń gbàgbọ́, àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ ń sìn yín pé Yorùbá nation ti dúró, àti declare, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sọ fún ẹ̀jẹ̀ ní sùrùsà, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sọ fún àwọn Yorùbá tí àwọn kan gbàgbọ́ ń díẹ̀, àwọn kan tí ò gbàgbọ́ bí irú àbá yìí tá a gbà pé normal thing, that's not the normal way to do. Ẹ bá mi ṣàlàyé fún àwọn tí wọ́n ti gbàgbé yẹn, tí wọ́n ti gbàgbọ́. Ṣé
ìbéèrè ni máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tán gbàgbọ́ yẹn, ṣé wọ́n ti bá àwọn tán wà nílé tó jẹ́ pé orílẹ̀ wa tó ń pín mọ́ Nàìjíríà, kí n ṣàlàyé náà, orílẹ̀ wa tó ń pín mọ́ Nàìjíríà tá a sọ pé a fẹ́ gba òmìnira fún, ṣé àwọn tó wà nílé ti gbà pé àwọn ń lọ pẹ̀lú wa tá a wà ní diaspora tá à ń pariwo lórí internet kan náà ti ń ṣèlú? A gbọ́dọ̀ rí i pé mìtìmìtì ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílé, pé àṣe mọ́ ìyẹn ò tí ì ṣẹlẹ̀. Èmi ò mọ bó ṣe jẹ́ fún àwọn èèyàn wa o, bá ṣe kàwé tó àrònú jinlẹ̀. Ìgbésẹ̀ tá à ń gbé agbésẹ̀ kan, agbésẹ̀ òsì akọ sí kíní gúúsù, agbésẹ̀ ọ̀tún akọ sí kíní ìlà oòrùn. Ṣé pé triangle ní 90 degrees, ẹni tó bá mọ̀ máa ìkan gúúsù ìkan ìlà oòrùn That's a right angle triangle. Kì í ṣe pé bóyá ìkan wà ní àríwá, gúúsù àti àríwá. That's a straight line. Ìlà oòrùn àti ìwọ̀ oòrùn. That's another straight line.
So,
nǹkan tí ó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé a gbọ́dọ̀ bá àwọn tó wà nílé kọ́ mọ̀ pé a lè ṣe election, torí mi ò fẹ́nu bà election campaign sí àwọn èèyàn wa nílé àti ṣe kọ́ mọ̀ pé wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe ìwọ́de pẹ̀lú àwọn tán láwọn lu agogo fún election tí ò lójú. So ti election campaign tiwa ọ̀tọ̀ ni, campaign tiwa láti sọ bí nǹkan máa ṣe rí fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a bá yọra wa kúrò nínú nǹkan tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà yẹn. Kì í ṣe ìjàngbara, is a right of our people to say we don't want to continue that thing. Àbá gbá kínní ní 1998, 1999. Ká ní àwọn bàbá kan tá a bá sọ kínní ṣe nǹkan, torí wọ́n ti ya máàpù ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ń gé wa kúrò ní ó wà nínú newspaper ìlú yìí tó ń pè ní Financial Times, Sunday Financial Times, this ní I think the second page or so, third page. Wọ́n ya máàpù Nàìjíríà tó ń gé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kúrò. Ṣe bóyá ká take advantage yẹn pé after all nǹkan tó tún ṣe wá ń gbà yẹn ni pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa rò pé Abíọ́lá tàn jẹ́ kó ṣe kínní Ọlọ́run mu, ṣèbó tako Awólọ́wọ̀. That was the mindset of most of our people. Instead of thinking for the whole people, ká ronú pé gbogbo Yorùbá ni wá, Abíọ́lá náà Yorùbá ni. Àwọn arábì kọ̀ kí Yorùbá di olórí. Lára wọn sọ pé tó bá di olórí àwọn over their dead body pé àwọn á kú. Kàkà kí Abíọ́lá jẹ́ olórí, àwọn á kú. Gbogbo ìwọ̀n yẹn yẹ kó yí àwọn èèyàn wa pé àwọn arábì láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà ti fẹ́ràn wa o. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo Awólọ́wọ̀ ti gbìyànjú láti fà wọn mọ́ra, wọn ò fẹ́ràn wa. Ẹ kanlẹ̀kùn ilé èèyàn títí pé mo fẹ́ wọlé, wọn ò ṣílẹ̀kùn, ẹ̀dẹ̀ sì kò takú síbẹ̀. Nǹkan tó ṣe Yorùbá nìyẹn. Ìgbà yẹn làbá ti lọ. Àgbáyé expect pa máa lọ ńgbà yẹn. Wọ́n kọ́ sí imminent breakup of Nigeria. And after that, from the 2000, BBC lórí news item wọ́n á ya máàpù Nàìjíríà, wọ́n fi the 12 Sharia states síbẹ̀. Wọ́n ní Nigeria a divided nation. Ìyẹn ò tún kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n pé àwọn arábìnrin sọ fún wa bá gbọ́. Thatcher gan náà pè wá ní artificial country ní 1986. Èwo ni kí ni a fẹ́ ṣe? Sorry o, ẹnìkan pẹ̀. Ní 1986 wọ́n kí ni Thatcher àgbà tó wá bẹ̀ Nàìjíríà wò after tó kúrò ní South Africa àti Ghana tó lọ́kàn flying visit torí kò dúró pẹ́. Ó ní somewhat artificially created. I was wondering how it's lasting so long. It's a difficult place to run. Òyìnbó ló sọ yẹn o. Torí ó ti ka gbogbo documentation bọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlú yẹn láti gbà kíní 1865 ìgbà táwọn French àti English tó ń jà lórí boundary. Nígbà kan Sokoto wà ní under French. Nígbà kan Ìlọrin Kaba province àti Lọ́kọ́jà wọ́n wà under French. But àwọn òyìnbó fi ọ̀nà ìbúrú wọ́n fi lé wọn kúrò diplomatically pé agreement táwọn ṣe ni pé àwọn British àwọn ò ní wá sí North Africa láti gba ilẹ̀, pé àwọn fi gbogbo North African territory yẹn jẹ́ pé Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria pé a fún yín. Then àwọn Italo wọ́n gba Libya. Then àwọn British wọ́n wà ní Egypt. So pé àwọn ò ní wá síbẹ̀ pé kí àwọn French kan fi ìsàlẹ̀ yẹn lẹ̀ fún àwọn, wọ́n wá fa ìlà kan which is now the northern boundary of Nigeria, pé ìlà yẹn náà fi George finally pé àti Sokoto àti ibi tẹ́ sọ pé ẹ wà ní Kìṣí, torí ọba Kìṣí sì ní document tí wọ́n sign pẹ̀lú àwọn French, the Treaty of Trade, Friendship and Protection. Torí mo pàdé ọmọ ọba Kìṣí tí wọ́n gba ibi tí mo ti ń ṣèwádìí káàkiri. And it's also in the even àwọn French dé ọ̀dọ̀ Aláàfin náà ní Ọ̀yọ́, but wọ́n sign treaty pẹ̀lú wọn torí àwọn Aláàfin gbà yẹn sọ pé àwọn ti sign pẹ̀lú èbó mi. So all these things, and then tẹ́ bá rántí library Aláàfin jóńgbà kan way back in the early 2000, documents tó relate mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tí mo sọ ẹ̀ ló jóná, some documents on it. So wá kí ló dé tá fi ọ̀rọ̀ ara wa pamọ́ tá ń ké ṣe tá ń pariwo ní Nàìjíríà ni mí, gidi ni mí, tí ò ní ìtumọ̀. Nàìjíríà ọjà ni, ọjà tí ò bá tà kó olúkálùkù máa kó gbá ìlọlé ni.
Alagba Oluwole, I'm sorry, I'm getting messages from here. Ó ní kẹ́ túbọ̀ ṣe àlàyé that particular declaration, ó ní kẹ́ túbọ̀ ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ fún pé ṣé káwọn èèyàn fọkàn bá kán lọ jókòó nsìn kán ti believe pé declaration yẹn ó mì ní pé àti Yorùbá ti di òmìnira, àti gbòmìnira wa, we are now the nation tí à ń clamor fún. Is that the result tí àwọn èèyàn láti believe lórí declaration 28th of November? Ṣé is that what it means? Ṣé Yorùbá ti dúró ń sìn yín? Torí wọ́n tún from all what I also hold on sir, àwọn èèyàn tún wọ́n láwọn tó ń ṣe declaration yẹn, wọ́n sọ fún àwọn èèyàn pé gbogbo nǹkan kọ́ làwọn máa ṣàlàyé fún àwọn, ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kán mọ many things, torí àwọn ń ṣe ní bòńkẹ́lẹ́ ni.
Jẹ́ kí n sọ, àwọn máa fi àpèjúwe àwọn ìlú míì tèmi náà ti bá wọn ṣe ìwọ́de fún declaration wọn, bírú Southern Sudan. But Southern Sudan, mo ní some reservation nípa Southern Sudan fún rẹ̀ bí Nàìjíríà ni, even though wọ́n gera wọn kúrò ní main Sudan, wọ́n pèrè àwọn Southern Sudan. Àwọn ẹ̀yà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ló wà ń bẹ̀ ní Southern Sudan, torí ẹ̀ náà fi ń jà. But ìgbà tán fẹ́ kúrò, step tí à ń gbé bọ̀ làwọn náà gbé. The final step was a referendum tó ń hold ní gbogbo àgbáyé, gbogbo capitals bíi tí àwọn èèyàn wọn wà. So there was voting by certain Sudanese citizens in London at the ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ parliament nígbà yẹn. I attended torí mo mọ ìkan náà àwọn representatives sí Southern Sudan. Mi mọ̀ bóyá ó ṣì wà láyé torí máa ń bá a sọ̀rọ̀ ìgbà tán ti ṣe kíní. Wọ́n ṣe referendum. After tán ṣe referendum yẹn ní United Nations sọ 99% that they want to know. Referendum worldwide àti referendum nílé on their home ground gave 99% this approval for a new Southern Sudan country. I won't call it a nation because it's not a nation. Southern Sudan country. So, tí àwọn èèyàn wá sọ pé wọ́n declare, you cannot declare and say it's hidden. It's an international issue of a people, of a territory. It's not a product. The same thing with Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste don't get our kúrò ní Indonesia. Wọ́n ṣe referendum náà ni. there are two parts of Timor-Leste. There was the Eastern Timor-Leste and
and
Western
and the
Timor-Leste.
West. Yeah.
So ìlú yẹn ìlú méjì orílẹ̀-èdè méjì ni but èdè kan náà ń sọ bí pé àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Benin àtàwọn èèyàn wa tó wà ní Nàìjíríà sọ pé èdè kan náà la ṣì ń sọ.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn tó wà ní western part of the Timor-Leste wọ́n láwọn ò kúrò ní Indonesia, and this was because the Indonesian authorities wọ́n ṣe a lot of campaign and bribery and corruption láti sọ pé àwọn á tún gbogbo nǹkan ṣe, but ẹni tí ó jẹ́ olórí fún Eastern Timor-Leste ó ṣe campaign láàrin àwọn èèyàn wọn pé ó dáa ká dá wà fúnra wa, àbá máa tó 1 million a máa nílùú wa lọ́tọ̀, àmọ́ bá máa ṣe tọ́jára kì í ṣe pé a máa ṣe gbéra lọ sí Sarawak láti lọ gba àṣẹ about 1,000 miles away fún bóyá a fẹ́ ṣe borehole bóyá a fẹ́ ṣe omi fúnra wa. So wọ́n vote láti kúrò. As at that time 1 million ni wọ́n, nísìnyí wọ́n ti wà settled. Wọ́n ṣe referendum bí ṣe ń sọ yìí o, wọ́n ṣe. So tiwa ò lè yàtọ̀. Pé a ṣe signatory yẹn is not enough. Kò convince international community pé àwọn èèyàn wa tó wà nílé fẹ́ kúrò di olómìnira ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, because àwọn international wọ́n sì ń rí i pé àwọn èèyàn wa ń sáré tẹ̀lé àwọn political party. Ṣé àwọn tó fẹ́ kúrò ló ń ṣe yẹn? That's why mo ti ń sọ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tá à ń sọ kì í ṣe lórí ibi báyà. Ó yẹ ká ti penetrate, ó yẹ ká ti bẹ̀ sí ká wá àwọn èèyàn nílé tá máa fún ní assistance, tó máa ṣe campaign pé nǹkan tó wà lẹ́sìn o gbogbo yín ẹ rí kò sí títì, flood lónìí, Ọ̀yọ́ dam ní ìtòsí Abẹ́òkúta wọn ò jẹ́ ó ṣiṣẹ́ láti 1984. Buhari náà ló stop ẹ̀ pé the further developments on that place should be stopped. He cannot deny it. That was before he was removed from, and then tó padà di olórí yẹn Babangida ò tiẹ̀ visit ibẹ̀ because it's development in the Yoruba land. So wọn ò fẹ́. Gradually iná ò sí mọ́, àwọn factories wa gbogbo lọ, nǹkan tó yẹ kí a fi campaign yẹn, àwọn ọmọ wa ń di aṣẹ́wó, àwọn ń di olè, ó ti wá di pé à ń para wa fún owó. And that's the kíní bòńkẹ́lẹ́ náà rọra ń yọ tí ẹni tí ò bá níṣẹ́ kí ló máa ṣe? Nǹkan kíkan tó bá nílò mọ́ gbogbo factories tó wà ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, nǹkan tó yẹ ká ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí campaign yẹn. Ẹ wo Lagos bó ṣe tó gbogbo àwọn ìlú wa ṣé náà wà ní àìpẹ́ra wa ní civilized. A kàn kọ́lé jọ ní akọ́sá scrapers tí ò ní síná tá máa lọ ra generator. Ó dẹ̀ dùn mí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa tó rò pé àwọn lówó, wọn ò lówó torí wọn ò mọ̀ ọ́ lò. Ìwọ tó bá lówó ẹ̀ ni ò ní ra generator. Oríṣiríṣi generator ni wọ́n bí ìlú tí erin kú sí, oríṣiríṣi ọ̀bẹ bí ilẹ̀ wa ṣe dà nìyẹn, tó ń kó gbogbo generator àti kékeré àti tó máa blow wa dànù. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ló ti kú pẹ̀lú generator. Mo mọ yọ̀gbọ̀ ìkan báyìí tó kọ́lé tó délé ẹ sọ pé Naija dáa ni wọ́n máa ń sọ, ó lọ ra petrol fún generator ẹ̀ torí ó ní asthma. Fíìmù yẹn wá kó sí imú ẹ̀ bó ṣe collapse sí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ní sínú àṣọlẹ̀ kù. Jẹ́ gbogbo ìwọ̀n yẹn la máa dúró tì. Àwọn nǹkan tó yẹ ká fi bẹ̀ sí campaign fáwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn. Ọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹnìkan kówó jáde tó ń fún yín kì í ṣe nǹkan tí ó yẹ ká continue láti máa gbà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ọ̀ pé wọ́n ń pín Congo rice tàbí ẹ̀wà. This is the time to campaign against such things. Future wa lies in what we achieved earlier. A túnbọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá under British tí gbogbo nǹkan rí mèremère tó pé irú èmi ń sìn ta ní free education àti free ed mi ò sanwó up to university level. Ẹ wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ sáwọn ọmọ wa ń sìn, mi ò san kọ́bọ̀. secondary school nìkan láti san owó káṣẹ́rẹ́ kan fún meal torí boarding house la wà, owó oúnjẹ.
Okay, ẹ jẹ́ kí n
so àwọn campaign tó yẹ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe ni àwọn tó láwọn declare àwọn ò tí ṣe yẹn. Okay, ibo ni headquarters wọn tẹ́ bá ní ẹ declare, ibo ni kí ni embassy yín ní àwọn ìlú òkèèrè.
ọ̀nà tí ìfẹ́ jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn mọ̀.
nǹkan tí jẹ́ kí n sọ fún nǹkan tó bá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kò ń ṣe nǹkan gidi, because ẹ̀sìn ló máa jẹ́ fún wa. Èmi ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ kẹ́sìn bá Yorùbá lọ o, ẹ̀sìn ni.
Yẹ̀bẹ̀ tán ló ti
àwọn ìlú àṣìbẹ̀sìn, àwọn tó bá ti declare àwọn ìlú yòókù lágbàáyé wọn á ti máa sọ pé àwọn recognize ẹ̀. Ta ló ti recognize láti gbà yẹn? It's an immediate thing. Tó bá declare within 2 or 3 days, wọ́n ti máa gbọ́ pé this country has recognized the new Yoruba Republic. This country, that is what that happens. Ẹ má tọ̀ra yín pé wọ́n ń ṣe nǹkan bòńkẹ́lẹ́. There's nothing like that. We have not done the right thing. Àti ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ ká ṣe.
Bàbá Àjàlá, wọ́n sọ wípé ó ti so sure nígbà tí wọ́n ti declare yẹn pé reclaim ló máa follow. The in between, wọ́n ti ránṣọ àwọn army, wọ́n ti ń gba àwọn èèyàn sí, wọ́n ti ní kó máa fill form lórí online, gbogbo táwọn wí online.
Ìjọba ti ránṣọ army ṣé ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àbí níbí?
A lè sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí mo gbọ́ pé nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni.
Well, I'm unconvinced because Sherry, there's still a standing army to call Nigerian army. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá wà ń bẹ̀. But see, it's just like it happened in East Timor and others. Àwọn tó bá wà ní centrally controlled institutions, they move back to their country. They become the core of the new development of the new institutions, vis-a-vis the army, the police, and then the security services. And all the other new ones, they might train. Láti ṣe. Those are the procedure. Àti ṣe nǹkan kan.
Bàbá Àjàlá, again, ẹ má bínú pé mo repeat. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gba àwọn èèyàn wọlé tí wọ́n bá máa call. Ẹ tí wọ́n máa pè, please call this number 07368 465 054. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n repeat ẹ̀ 07368 465 054. Ẹ pè wọlé kẹ́ béèrè question lọ Bàbá Àjàlá. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ lórí program tèmi ẹ bá pè kẹ́ béèrè straight question ní o nídìí patronizing kan lọ títí. Ẹ béèrè question tó wà related tí tá à ń discuss yìí. Ohun tá a dẹ̀ ń discuss bí lénìí òun ni nípa declaration tí àwọn kan ní ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 20 of November last month, 28th of November this year, wípé àwọn ti ṣe declaration pé àwọn kan dẹ̀ ti àwọn kan ti ṣe kinní kan gbogbo ẹ̀ it's all still tí ìfẹ́ kẹ́ mọ nitty-gritties ẹ̀ tí ìfẹ́ ká mọ gbogbo tó wà.
Let me tell people, jẹ́ kí n bá àwọn èèyàn mi sọ̀rọ̀ again. Ṣé rí ní around 1990s and up to time tí àwọn kan lára wa wọ́n ti dé level tó yẹ pé wọ́n ti prepare bí owó wa ṣe máa rí, currency wa, wọ́n dẹ̀ ti prepare bí passport wa ṣe máa rí. That does not amount to a declaration. So ẹ má jà fira wọlẹ̀, ẹ já ṣe nǹkan bó ṣe yẹ, ká gba acceptance the international community pé lílọ ni ó yẹ ká lọ, ká kúrò nínú Nigeria. It's of right if we convince our own people too at home, mo ń tẹnu mọ́. Wọ́n ń wò wá, lára wọ́n jókòó tán translate nǹkan tá à ń sọ. Lára ẹ̀ náà nígbà tí mo ṣe program kan ní ọ̀dọ̀ Adé Thomas, tí wọ́n láti rán ìkan náà top journalist láti béèrè pé kí ni pé àwọn gbọ́ pé à ń sọ pé Nàìjíríà 100 years ni kó ti dissolve, pé àwọn ò rí document kankan anywhere in the world lórí ẹ̀ o, kí n tún padà láti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. So a lè máa sọ pé nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tí ò ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Ibo ni kí ni national capital wa?
Ọ̀nà ṣì ń bò, wọ́n sọ pé tí pé nǹkan tán bá bò ló níyì. Àwọn nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn gbogbo nǹkan ni mo fẹ́ kẹ́ bá wa ṣàlàyé.
Tẹ́rí, the immediate time tí àwọn kíní ṣe kíní wọn, they already know that Juba was going to be their capital.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ìyẹn Southern Sudan. Then our Timorese náà wọ́n ti mọ capital wọn.
And there was a kind of a fanfare. Okay, all right. Ṣé Alagba gẹ́gẹ́ bí sọ.
Wọ́n ti mọ capital wọn, and these are the things that have to be in place. Lè máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ ọjọ́ iwájú, ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbésí ayé àwọn èèyàn kẹ́sọ̀ pé ẹ bò mọ́, ẹ fi kùkù bò mọ́lẹ̀, bóyá ẹ fi apẹ̀rẹ̀ bò mọ́lẹ̀, ẹ máa ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ ni. It is kò work bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ọ̀dọ̀ wa Yorùbá ló dà pé a fẹ́ fira wọlẹ̀. We have to have things in place. Where's this thing, our embassy? Where's the accreditation of our ambassador? Ready in place within weeks of any declaration, and within weeks of any declaration, countries of the world will start to announce that we have declared and coming to meet our leaders to sign the agreements of cooperation and trade, because the world is a trading post. Where are all those? Please, those of you who believe that, sit back and think, is it the right step? Look at the rest of the world. The moment 1993 January 1st, Kini declare Czechoslovakia, almost the following day, the rest of the other countries of the world were recognizing them. I announced how many countries have openly said we have recognized a new Yoruba sovereign nation. These are the things that you should ask your minds. It's not about the 5 million, even that 5 million signatory cannot be attested to that is true. These are the facts.
Alagba, there's another area that is for me as a political observer and analyst, this mega rally àti àwọn tán ní ó yẹ ẹja jáde. Kí ni tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ ń pa ẹ̀sà? Because I know one of the.
To me, a rally is good, but ó dàbẹ̀ pé a máa ń fẹ́ láti pe nǹkan tá a bá fẹ́ ṣe, a máa ń pè wọ́n lórúkọ. A mega rally should be a mega rally. But do we have mega rallies? No. Simply, let's have a rally. And when it comes out and becomes mega, then you cannot describe it in the paper that we had a mega rally. You cannot say you want a mega rally when you haven't started it. You see, ọ̀rọ̀ èdè, ọ̀rọ̀ bá ṣe ń gbéra jáde, ó yẹ ká wò ká tó máa sọ. A rally should be a rally. When the large crowd is there, then àwọn èèyàn lè ṣe àpèjúwe yẹn nínú ìwé tákàdá táǹtà tàbí newspaper. They had a mega rally. That makes more sense than saying you have a mega rally and only 50 people come around. This is the problem.
Ẹ ṣé Alagba, gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo sọ, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tó bá ní àǹfààní láti pè wọlé. Usually mi ò encourage pè wọlé kan lọ títí because my experience ni pé àwọn tí wọ́n bá ń pè wọlé either they want to ẹlòmíà béèrè question tó da ẹlòmíà kàn bẹ́ẹ̀ èmi prefer yìí pé ká ṣàlàyé fún àwọn èèyàn. Ó dà pé a ti ní call kan ẹnìkan someone is calling ẹ jẹ́ hold on o ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni yẹn tó pè kó pè sórí 07368 465 ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé call ẹ̀. Hello, who is calling? I have my guest, historian Alagba Alex Ajala. Kí ni question yín? Ẹ béèrè question yín. I have some. I'm on the air.
Mo rí pé ẹsẹ̀ nìkan kan sórí app sórí Google fún mi ni.
Yes, ẹ béèrè question yín. I'm on the air with I'm in the studio with a guest. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa declaration tí wọ́n bẹ̀ ní 2022 28th of November. Kí ni tẹ́ fẹ́ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wa tó wà lórí torí àwọn ni bàbá wa nídìí ìrìn àjò yìí wọ́n ti wà ń bẹ̀ over 35 years. So wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ so many things. Kí lẹ fẹ́ béèrè? Ẹ béèrè question lọ́wọ́ ẹ béèrè question.
Sorry, a máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ lọ sórí app yẹn náà.
Ok, ẹ fẹ́ béèrè question sí.
Mi ò fẹ́ béèrè question mo kàn ní wọ́n jẹ́ àwọn gbé mi fẹ́ béèrè níta máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ sọ.
Ok, ẹ ṣé, thank you. So bàbá wa, again, I'm happy you have been able to repeatedly explain to àwọn tó ń gbọ́ wa wípé declaration 28th of November 2022 yẹn is òyìnbó kí lóyìnbó null and void. Bẹ̀tẹ̀ tí wọ́n á lo
I didn't say it's null and void. It's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. Okay. So that means anybody will declare, but it's not appropriate. It's not properly done. Abi, is that what you are saying?
Yes, that's what I've been explaining. Because there are certain steps that have to be taken, which I explained. We haven't got a mass of our people, at least more than 50% of our people at home, saying that we no longer want to be part of Nigeria. That has not happened.
So the penetration of that information, dissemination of that information is still not very good. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. Now,
so if that is done, and the international community will see it, and then we have to make a presentation to the community that this is the position. We, as Yoruba people who happen to be in Nigeria, no longer want to be part of it because of these reasons. And our people are behind our statement that they no longer want to be. And the entire community sees that situation. They have no other option than to accept that we have to go. And then they will even ask us what date do we want to make a final declaration, just like in Timor, although that of distant European things that just collapsed and then went their separate ways and were announcing to the world. And then the Kosovo issue is still there. Then the Yugoslavia thing, then the Soviet Union, everybody moved away and declared. And then the China community was watching, saying that it's all the people of those countries that say they don't want. But in our case now, we have a dual situation. Some people are campaigning for election 2023, and a few people, or maybe hiddenly, people are saying we want our nation. How do we now marry the two positions? And recently, you found that an APC presidential candidate had come to Europe to campaign. You see, and yet he's of a Yoruba stock. The world will see it. Okay, these people are saying they want a new nation. Some of their people are campaigning for presidency. Where do we stand? So don't let Bodo Sherawani lesson.
Then there's another area tí mo fẹ́ kẹ́ yan kẹ́ ṣe àlàyé fún àwọn èèyàn wa òun ni the campaign for kí ni ìyàtọ̀ campaign for freedom and declaration, kí ni ìyàtọ̀ láàrin méjèèjì?
Campaign for sovereignty should have been the right word of the Yoruba race.
Sovereignty.
I will not say freedom or this, because we are not enslaved, but we are in a situation whereby we are in a country that has no respect for human existence, that has no respect for the development in the proper way, that destroys the ability for the country to develop. Tó ń fi kọ́má sí gbogbo nǹkan tí Yorùbá ń ṣe. Ẹ wo gbogbo fásitì tó wà ní Ìkẹjà tó ti lọ, Olúyọ̀lé Industrial Estate, gbogbo káàkiri everywhere, gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti lọ. Ṣé báwọn nǹkan tí ìlú máa fi ń dúró nìyẹn? Kí ló dẹ̀ fà á tó ṣe lọ? Ìgbà tí ò bá síná kò lè sí development.
Hold on, Alagba, mo ní kọ́là kan. Hold on. Hello, ẹjọ́ ta ló ń pè o àti bó lẹ ti ń pè? Ṣe pé wá sí orí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì kìíní ẹ̀, ó yẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. Hello, Alagba, ṣé ń gbọ́?
Ẹ mọ̀ ń gbọ́.
Ẹ kúrò lẹ́ sà.
Ẹ kúrò lẹ́ o.
Fọdún ẹ kú ìyèdù ẹ ṣàpẹẹrẹ o, a máa rí yín bá o.
Àmín.
Pé ìdí aṣojú yín kò ní ṣe é lẹ́yìn yín o. Ẹlẹ́yìn ò dẹ̀ ní síwájú o.
Àmín.
Iṣẹ́ takuntakun tẹ̀ ń ṣe. Ìbéèrè tèmi fẹ́ béèrè ni wípé ọ̀rọ̀ tí ẹ sọ ọ̀pẹ tó tún gbẹ̀mí lè fẹ́ sọ wípé APC ló ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, àwa náà tí ò tí ì ṣe kinní tó yẹ kí kinní. Èmi lérò wípé táwọn APC ń ṣe àti parties àtọ̀wọn Òbí ni o, Àtíkù ni o, àwọn ń ṣe tiwọn láyé ọ̀tọ̀, àwa náà ń ṣe tiwa láyé ọ̀tọ̀. Àti pé bẹ́yìn bàbá wa náà dẹ̀ ṣe wí wípé èèyàn púpọ̀ kan ló ń gba kinní. Tó bá jẹ́ pé àjọṣepọ̀ àwa tí a gbé kinní yìí lọ́wọ́ ó gúnrégé tí wọn ò jẹ́wọ́ sí àárín wa, apá tí wọ́n ti èmi lérò pé àárín kinní yẹn gbà. Tí ò bá jẹ́ pé ẹnu nìkan lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ wá ní, àti pé ohun tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ fẹ́ jẹ ló fi fa ìrìn àjò yìí sẹ́yìn, àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ fọ̀wọ̀n síbí. Èmi lérò pé tí unity bá wà ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn, tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ọ̀nà tí ó ti láti gbà àfààyè sílẹ̀, ẹnu wá ṣọ̀kan arọ́nà tí ọ̀nà yẹn ni. Kò bá tà pé ọwọ́ àwọn kan ń ṣe kiri, kò báwọn ṣe ń ṣe tiwọn la máa ṣe tiwa, àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ni sà?
Nǹkan tí mo sọ ni pé a gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́ èrò tiwọn yẹn kúrò sí ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa. Ìyẹn mo ṣe fi percentage sí. Campaign wa gbọ́dọ̀ múlẹ̀ dáadáa. So tí àwọn oní òṣèlú bá máa ṣe campaign tiwọn, wọn ò ní lérò mọ́ láti yí àwọn èèyàn wa. Nǹkan tí àwọn international community fẹ́ rí nìyẹn, pé àwọn èrò wa a ní dí wọn lọ́wọ́, but àwọn èrò tó máa lọ bá wọn á dínkù, torí pé àwọn èrò yòókù wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé ilẹ̀ sovereign Yorùbá nation náà ń jà fún. Wọn ò fẹ́ gbọ́ kankan pa politics tàtijọ́ mọ́. Tá bá ti lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, because ó ti pẹ́ tí mo ti ń sọ, tí mo ti ń tẹnumọ́ pé a gbọ́dọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ campaign láti year 2020, pé a gbọ́dọ̀ máa bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ̀rọ̀, pé ọ̀rọ̀ politics kọ́ ni ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ o. Ọ̀rọ̀ ewu pé tá bá continue láti wà nílẹ̀ tó ń pè Nàìjíríà yẹn, ìyà máa jẹ wá o. Ẹ wo gbogbo nǹkan tí mo kà sílẹ̀ tí ò sí mọ́. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa fi yí àwọn èèyàn wa pé bó ṣe rí nìyí, nǹkan tá máa advantage, nǹkan tá máa rí tá bá bọ́ sínú kíní àti àlàyé gbogbo ẹ̀ fún wọn. Ìyẹn ni campaign strategy wa. Bọ́rọ̀ bí Bafá fún wa ṣe máa ń sọ campaign.
Èmi lérò pé campaign wa kò múlẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Àwọn olóṣèlú yìí tó bá jẹ́ ìlú bòmíì ní sà, tó jẹ́ bóyá bí ìlú àwọn Arab àbí bí owó lè rówó gbà ó dẹ́ ń sìn sá tábánikà ṣe èèlò ní Yorùbá nation ní ká fẹ́ fi fà wọ́n.
Ṣé kí n sọ fún nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ni pé ẹni tẹ́bí bá ń pa tó rò bí bóyá tọ́rọ́ tó ń fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ àwọn politician yẹn ló máa ní kébi má pa wọn mọ́ ó ń tanra ẹni. So àwọn nǹkan tí ó wà nílẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé bóyá káà náà máa lọ háwó fún àwọn èèyàn tó wà nílé kò lè débì kankan. Kì í ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kó rí ni ẹ a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí láti inú wọn spiritually pé kọ́ mọ̀ pé ìyà táwọn ń jẹ yìí ó ti tó gẹ́ àwọn ò lè continue láti máa lọ bá àwọn òṣèlú láti gba tọ́rọ́ tó ń fẹ́ fi jẹun ilẹ̀ wà káàkiri temporarily ni tábà mo promise pé Canada ti gba ilẹ̀ wa bó ṣe yẹ ebi ò ní within 9 months ebi ò ní pa anybody mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá within 9 months. But àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n ṣe bí ẹrú politician yẹn ni a fẹ́ bá wọn sọ pé bí ń pa wọ́n yẹn kọ́ má fi yẹn kẹ́wọ́ torí ìlú ìta wà òkè London ni mo wà tí sọ fún láyé ìgbà kan ní ayé ìgbà kan ọba kan bó ṣe ń ṣe wọ́n bẹ lórí wọ́n bàjà wọ́n bẹ lórí.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìgbà tó ń ṣe kọ́ńtàkọ́ńtà.
ẹ wo free health service àti gbogbo ẹ̀ ìgbà tó ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ kò sí kọ́bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba ìlú yìí but wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 1948 so ìta ń fi lójoojúmọ́ tá à ń sọ pé bí ń pa àwọn èèyàn bí ń pa àwọn èèyàn ṣebí kán tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé wọ́n ń ṣe campaign ṣebí bí ń pa wọ́n ṣe bákan náà ló jẹun ṣe bó yẹ kán mọ̀ pé owó tí àwọn àti oúnjẹ táwọn politician ń pín fún wọn kì í ṣe owó tó yẹ kán pín fún wọn wọ́n fi ra inú wọn ní ó dẹ̀ yẹ kí olúkálùkù ní ọpọlọ pé ìyà tá à ń jẹ láti jẹ ìwà ó ti tó gẹ́ àwọn ará bíbà lọ́dọọdún every 4 years wọ́n ṣe ń fún àwọn lóúnjẹ kí ló máa jẹ ní next 4 years ara kí tó yẹ ká máa sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn pé nǹkan mèremère wà níwájú fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tá bá kúrò because one of the key things tí a máa ṣe tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá is free education and free health àti agriculture. Those 3 major things la máa kọ́ face other things will follow around it electricity roads railway employment á bẹ̀ sí pọ̀ sí àwọn factories máa bẹ̀ sí padà tẹ́lẹ̀ tí bá wà.
ẹ hold on fún màmá wa màmá ẹ go on.
ẹ ṣe sà gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ṣe sọ wípé bá ṣe bá lẹ́nu àwọn àgbà náà tó ń sọ bóyá òwe ni bóyá kìlẹ̀ ń ṣòwò wípé ebi ń pa mí ọlọ́ṣẹ́ ń polówó nígbà tí ìwọ inú kí ni máa ṣe wẹ òde nígbà tí ebi pọ̀ wọ èèyàn ó lérò pé torí pé àwa náà wà lókèrè láṣẹ orí kìíní ìta ń sọ báyìí tí ebi bá ń pààyàn èèyàn ní wọn wípé ọdún mẹ́rin ó ti fò wọ́n lójú wọn ti fìyà jẹ wọ́n débi pé wọn ò lè já ronú ara wọn ọ̀wọ́n náà lè ronú fún wọn lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó wà yìí and because of that sir ìdílé rẹ pé àwọn kò ń sọ tiwa lókèrè lọ́pọ̀ tí ó bá sún wọn kò fi rí wọn fún ara wọn lè ní pé yes this is not for some this content jẹ́ ìwádìí fún ara wọn àwọn kan tẹ̀ tá à ń tọ́ ni o ọ̀wọ́n kan ló ní kíní lọ́wọ́ ìtọ́sọ́bá ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa tá wà lókèrè wípé ọ̀wọ́n kan náà kàn fi lè fi mú wa àwọn lè ṣe gbà ẹlòmíì ò lọ́mọ lé nínú wa ẹlòmíì ò léèyàn kankan ìyá ti kú bàbá ti kú bọ́ ọlá wípé àánú ṣe wá àgbẹ̀ ti ẹ̀dùn èèyàn kan lẹ́bí wa àìsí ń bẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n táwọn tàdé ń sọ fún wọ́n bá táwọn bá rí bí àwa ṣe ń rí èmi ló rò pé àjọra wa lẹ́nu rẹ̀ nǹkan ìfẹ́ sọ nìyẹn sà ẹ ṣe.
ẹ ṣe màmá wa.
nǹkan tẹ́ sọ gbẹ̀yìn yẹn òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn rí bá ṣe ń rí but àìní dákẹ́ ẹnu Ọlọ́run ló fún wa ní ọ̀rọ̀ sọ àásọ títí tó máa yé wọn torí ẹ̀ lèmi náà ṣe ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ látijọ́ yìí but ká ní gbogbo ata wà ní diaspora let me use that word tá a dá gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀ tá a face pé campaign la gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe rather than pé à ń wá ipò campaign yẹn ló yẹ ká kọjú mọ́.
ká tẹra mọ́.
Ká tẹra mọ́, ká ṣe gbogbo nǹkan láti ṣàlàyé fún ọ pé a mọ̀ pé bí ń pa yín o, but fún gbà díẹ̀ ní tá bá ti gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá, gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àtàwọn abiyamọ tó hàn lè lọ sọ́tútò from day one tá bá declare by properly.
Bàbá wa
access to wo níbi ìlú ìnà ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. Ìgbà tó parí ogun Hitler kò sí kọ́bọ̀ lápò ìlú yìí, but kí ni wọ́n ṣe? Wọ́n rí pé ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn wọn. Tọrọ kọ́bọ̀ tó kù ni wọ́n fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ free health ní 1948 àti free education. Ìgbà yẹn àwọn tẹ́bí ń pa, àyè wá wà fún ọ láti ronú pé mo mà lóko báyìí ò jẹ́ lọ sóko kẹ́mi náà lè lọ máa san tax mi torí gbogbo wàhálà pé mò ń tọ́jú ọmọ ìjọba ti gbà lọ́wọ́ mi. That was how I started. Awólọ́wọ̀ náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ the same thing ní 1954 ní Western Region. A gbọ́dọ̀ máa fi ṣàlàyé, gbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe gbogbo àlàyé yìí fún àwọn èèyàn wa. Tọ́n bá tẹ̀ wà láyé ńgbà yẹn, kó mọ ìtàn ní ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ayé. Tí ò bá sí tàn kò lè sáyé. Kó mọ ìtàn bá ṣe jẹ́ ní under the British. Tẹ́ pé gbogbo nǹkan mèremère là enjoy. Ebi ò pààyàn. Wọ́n á tún fún oúnjẹ bẹ̀yàn nígbà míì tó bá lọ sóko. Lórí mi máa ń lọ sóko dáadáa ńgbà yẹn. Ọ̀dọ̀ alákọ̀wé náà pè mí, but mo máa ń lọ sóko, mo máa ń ṣoko.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa, ṣe rí nǹkan tó tún kù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tí mo tún fẹ́ bèè lọ́wọ́ yín sà. Àwọn kan sọ pé ọ̀ràn wa ń ṣẹ́ ara àwọn tó wọ́n fẹ́ dá sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Wọ́n sọ pé kò sẹ́ni tó rán àwa kan. Wọ́n sọ pé kò sẹ́ni tó rán àwa kan, àwa tá à ń ṣe àwa campaigners yìí. Àwọn olówó kan tí tọ́n darapọ̀ àtàwọn èèyàn kan bóyá ibìkan wọn wà ní comfort zone wọn, nǹkan kò yọ wọn lẹ́nu. Wọ́n sọ ní ta ló rán wa ń ṣẹ́? Ta ló rán wa ń ṣẹ́? Even though èmi ti ń fún wọn láwọn answers kan tí mo ti ṣe example àwọn kan tí wọ́n ránṣẹ́ tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí ni ká máa sọ fún àwọn èèyàn tó ń sọ pé ta ló rán yín iṣẹ́ gangan? Ta ló rán yín iṣẹ́ gbogbo tẹ́ fẹ́ achieve? Ó wà ní Nàìjíríà náà. Kí ló wá bàtà èmi ò àwọn ní ẹ má yọ wálẹ̀ ẹ má dẹ̀ gbé wa sí wàhálà. Ta ló rán wa ń ṣẹ́? Kí ni ká máa sọ fún wọn?
Nǹkan tí màá sọ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni pé kọ́lọ́ọ̀ má jẹ́ ó pẹ́ kó tó yé wọn. Nígbà tó bá máa yé wọn, nǹkan tó ojú wọn máa rí. Nǹkan tó ojú wọn máa rí. Èmi ò fẹ́ kí nǹkan burúkú ṣẹlẹ̀ sọ́mọ Yorùbá. Kán tètè bẹ̀rẹ̀ kán yí ìwà wọn padà àti ìrònú wọn. Ẹ̀rín tọ́rọ́ kọ́bọ̀ ẹrò bí ìgbẹ̀yìn ayé nìyẹn. Bọ́tẹ́ ìrònú ọjọ́ iwájú. Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbé ni? Ẹ mọ̀ pé a wà nínú ewu. Àwọn Fúlàní tí ń wá bọ́n ṣe máa gba gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa. Ẹ lè wà láàrin Lẹ́kì kẹ́ máa gbádùn tẹ́ ṣe fence around your houses. Bọ́njọ́ tó máa wo orúkọ ọjọ́ kan ni. Èmi ò predict evil to anybody. Èmi fẹ́ ká avoid ẹ̀ la ṣe ń campaign pé ó tó gẹ́ ká kúrò, ká dá wà, ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ new civilization wa. À ń tanra wa ní. Ìgbà tí àwọn yẹn sọ pé ta ló rán wa ń ṣẹ́? Tẹ́ bá èdè yẹn tó sọ, ṣé wọ́n lè lọ sọ nílẹ̀ Ìgbò ṣé wọ́n máa gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ? Ṣé wọ́n lè lọ sọ níbi ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ yìí? Àwọn ìlú on the lines of èdè náà fi ń dálẹ̀. Even Jack Straw ní I don't know exactly the first conference of Jack Straw, the Minister of Foreign Affairs under Blair. His first speech at the European conference, the first paragraph stated clearly that nations are built on the basis of a people of a common ancestral origin, language, culture, and tradition. Ọmọ Yorùbá tí ò bá mọ eléyìí tó ń sọ pé ta ló rán wọn iṣẹ́, ó fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ àìjẹrú láéláé ni o.
But èmi ti ẹ̀ gbà wípé.
Nǹkan tí ó ń ṣe Áfíríkà tí Áfíríkà tẹ́ bá ń wo international news and development, even though lára àwọn èèyàn wa tán ti kúrò ní Africa wọ́n contribute sí, but kí là ń contribute sí Africa? That's the question. And mo ṣàlàyé ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́, ẹ wà ní òkùnkùn ẹ tan generator, factory ń sá lọ, ẹ ń lọ sí church, nínú factory ẹ ń gbàdúrà fún iṣẹ́, nínú factory tó yẹ kó provide iṣẹ́, ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́? Railway gbogbo àgbáyé ló ní fast train, irú railway wo ló wà ń lù yín? Báwo lẹ ṣe ń lọ láti òdì kejì sí ìkejì? Ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́? Flood ń kó àwọn èèyàn lọ, àwọn ilé ń wó, ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́? Ṣé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń sọ pé ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́, ṣé ẹ rí gbogbo eléyìí? Àbí òfurufú lẹ̀ ń gbé ni? Àbí ẹ̀ sí ní ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórílẹ̀ èdè Yorùbá tó sì wà nù Nàìjíríà, ẹ rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹ lè travel freely, mi ò lè wálé freely, torí tí n bá wálé mo máa rin gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá já kí n tó dé ìlú mi. So ṣé ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́? Wọ́n lé àwọn àgbẹ̀ kúrò lóko, ta ló rán wa ṣẹ́?
But in fairness o bàbá mi, àwọn tó ń sábà béèrè question yìí ojú àwọn tí wọ́n ti entrench ara wọn sí inú politics of Nigeria, tó lè pé wọ́n fẹ́ di president, wọ́n fẹ́ di governor, wọ́n fẹ́ di senator, wọ́n ṣàfẹ́ di òjèlú ni wọ́n kàn kọ́ra lóṣèlú ni àwọn, because of their myopic approach wọn tó yẹ pé bìkan náà rí. Tí wọ́n bá bi èmi tí èmi máa ń sọ fún wọn gbà míì ni pé time ti Mandela ní South Africa, ta ló rán South Africa, despite the fact despite the 27 or 26 years imprisonment Mandela ó continue to fight for the emancipation àti liberation of our South Africans, even though today it's still typical of black people. Less than 5% ló ń benefit, but that's another story for another day. Bàbá mi, mo fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ yín fún gbogbo all what I've learned from you since I've known you, because like I said, we've come a long way, and it is my pleasure to have you anytime and every time when something comes to what is the most important to my life. The most dearest project in my life is to see, hopefully, and I pray that during my lifetime, your lifetime, kí a rí ilẹ̀ wa, kárí ilẹ̀ wa gbà, kí inú wa dùn, kí àwọn ọmọ wa, kí inú everybody dùn pé Dad, I'm very happy to associate ourselves with you, that you and other people have worked for this a new civilization, a new dawn. Olúwa sì gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa. Finally, kí n tó jẹ́ kẹ́ máa lọ, kí lẹ tún fẹ́ bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ ní èní? Though àwọn kan sọ pé spoken too much English, but kí lẹ fẹ́ round up ní Yorùbá, àwọn kan wọlé tún fẹ́ bá a sọ pẹ̀lú, and remembering the main reason tí mo ṣe gbé yín wá, even though àti chit-chat àti sọ ọ̀rọ̀ oríṣiríṣi nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀, mo mọ̀ mi fẹ́ gbé yín lọ sí àwọn eré àbí kan tó interest àwọn, nítorí tó interest àwọn èèyàn wá sí ni that declaration. But what is your final word, sir?
Declaration, èmi máa sọ pé èèyàn sọ pé òun fẹ́ jẹyàn kó gbé pamọ́ sí abẹ́ tébù, torí mo láìkì yan jíjẹ pẹ̀lú ọbẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́ àtẹ̀gùsí. One thing tí mo fẹ́ sọ last ni pé ó yẹ kó yé àwọn èèyàn wa pé àwọn bàbá wa kọ́ ló dá Nàìjíríà lẹ̀ o. A gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó pa wá run o. Àti kúrò Nàìjíríà ká wà on our own. Ká dẹ̀ téèyàn bá ṣẹ̀ láàrin wa a máa mọ ilé ibi tó ti wá. Torí kí n tún sọ nǹkan wẹ́rẹ́ kan, ẹnìkan ní Ondo State nígbà tí ó ti sí Èkìtì State, commissioner ni under àwọn military. Ó ṣe ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kan tí wọ́n fi yọ lórí oyè. Kò sọ́ba ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá tó máa sáàdì, ẹ mọ ibi tó lọ, ọba Sókótó ló lọ bá pé kan bá wọn sọ fún head of state kan dáhùn padà sórí ipò tó ń wà, wọ́n dẹ̀ effect ẹ̀. So ìyẹn fi yé èmi pé ó dàbí pé gbogbo wa Yorùbá à ń ṣe bí ẹrú nù Nàìjíríà, à ń mọ iyì ara wa, à ń mọ̀ pé àwọn yòókù wọ́n bẹ̀rù wa, à ń ṣe bí àkùkọ tí kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ ti já kíní orí ẹ̀ kúrò, tá a ti sọ fún kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ pé kì í máa ṣe náà la gbèrú o, àti di ọ̀dẹ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà. Torí ẹ̀ ni ó dàbẹ̀ pé àwọn kan tán rò bó àwọn ṣe ń ṣe business tán ní generator ńláńlá sílé wọn, tán máa ń sọ pé ta ló rán wa níṣẹ́. Àwọn náà rí, but àwọn kan máa dìde torí Elédùmarè Elédùà, àwọn alálẹ̀ wọ́n fún àwọn kan ní ẹnu ọ̀rọ̀ láti sọ jáde, nítorí pé kò yẹ ká dákẹ́ ẹnu ọ̀rọ̀ tá a bá mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀, torí ọ̀rọ̀ ló máa gbé wa.
Then finally ọ̀rọ̀ declaration yẹn ẹ bá mi sọ kúnná fún just 2 minutes pé kí ni ìgbà wo ló yẹ kí declaration ṣẹlẹ̀, and then ẹ má gbàgbé alàgbà, ṣé torí tí wọ́n bá ṣe declaration yẹn yíyà yìí òun ló máa fi jẹ́ pé a máa gbà ni, àbí tá a bá yìí ṣe anytime, because some people are arguing, they don't want to hear this, and like I said, because of you and I and Peter lè gbé bá ìrìn àjò wa dé pẹ̀lú táwa mọ̀ tí many people may not know that, tàbí tó mọ̀ tó kàn ń sápamọ́ lábẹ́ one finger, that any whoever tó bá yàn wọlé ní Nàìjíríà lọ́la ní lọ́túnla ní whatever it is, this campaign can never be stopped. Am I making sense, sir? Can never be stopped.
No, it can never be stopped.
It can never be
It's
stopped.
going to be even intensified, because tí election yẹn bá borí lílọ wa, ìyà máa bẹ̀ sí jẹ Yorùbá seriously. Ìgbà yẹn ni wọ́n máa bẹ̀ sí pé pàjáwìrì ọ̀kan kọrin arò ti ayé àtijọ́ ti Ẹ̀gbá, dúró dè mí gbà kí n tẹ lórin yẹn nísìnyí o. Ó ṣe é gbé náà, kò ṣe é gbé yòókù. So kan tó wà dúró ìgbà tí gbogbo ẹ ti di kìtàkìtà, wọ́n ní dúró dè mí bọ́ ṣòkòtò Ẹ̀gbá ń sá lọ. Láyé ìgbà yẹn okùn náà fi ń so ṣòkòtò. Torí technology wa okùn náà fi ń so ṣòkòtò láyé àtijọ́. Tá a bá wọ agbádá àti bírò tí mo wọ̀ ń sìn, ṣòkòtò sálẹ̀ okùn ni wọ́n máa fi so. Nígbà tẹ́ bá ti bẹ̀ sí ń jà, okùn yẹn máa ń tú. Ẹ wá tún rí pé jàgídíjà tún bẹ̀ sí ń fa okùn táwa kó tó kẹsẹ̀ bọ eré. Ẹ rí, ẹ má jà tanra wa, election kọ́ ni saviour wa o. Nǹkan burúkú ń bọ̀. Àwọn kan tí ń kó sáàrin wa, àwọn èèyàn lè lọ sóko à ń sọ o. Àwọn èèyàn lè gbogbo mò ń ka bí àwọn àgbáyé, ẹ wo Amẹ́ríkà mẹ́rin, is one of the largest producers of àgbàdo. Àgbàdo táṣẹ́rẹ́ tá à ń gbìn lù wá, kì í ṣe pé kò sílẹ̀ tá a fi lè gbìn àgbàdo tó pọ̀. A máa sọ pé a ní oko àgbàdo. Àti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ civilization l'Africa. We can feed the rest of the world, but not under the constructions of Europeans called countries. We have to be our separate nations under a common language, ancestral origin, way of life, and develop. Thank you.
Well, for everybody, for those of you, I know it's an afternoon program. I'm going to do one again later in the evening. I'm not going to, I need to confirm my guest, then I can send out invite again. Ẹ ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ gbọ́ wa, lóbìnrin lọ́kùnrin àti ẹ̀yin tẹ́ phone in. Mo appreciate gbogbo everybody. Ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ o, ọ̀rọ̀ rí rẹpẹtẹ àbá àná ṣe ń kọ ṣé Chicago ló kọ́ àbí kí ló ṣe kọ́ gbà ẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ rí rẹpẹtẹ. Declaration 2011-2022 wọ́n ní kì í ṣe pé nọ́là but kò sí it's like a child play, it's like a mockery of the process. The process remain to be continued. Ká máa disseminate information kó penetrate dé àárín àwọn èèyàn wa tán wà ní Ṣómólú, Àbẹ́tẹ̀, oríṣiríṣi ibi táwọn èèyàn wá pọ̀ sí, ibi tí ìyà ti ń jẹ wọ́n láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ the difference láàrin pé owó tí wọ́n bá fún wọn ní this year another year for the next 4 years wíwára sábà gba ìjọba táwa láyé wa a lè ti máa ṣírò tiwọn mọ́ tiwa. Àwọn olórí wa ọ̀ ní jàjẹpa, ẹnì kankan ò ní kówó ìlú jẹ kó lọ fi ra lé ní New York tàbí kó lọ ra lé nbìkan ní Switzerland tàbí kó máa lọ gba Medicare. Ìlú tó bá máa ṣoríire nǹkan méjì ni hàn kí fi ń jẹ wọ́n yà. The first one, education àti health. Tí ìwọ̀n yẹn bá ti dúró, some other things will follow. Am I right, sir?
That's correct.
Yes, sir. So
free health and free education.
Yes, sir.
Is the foundation, and agriculture, foundation of civilization.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo ìjókòó tó bá dẹ̀ ti ní gbogbo yẹn ọ̀nà tó máa gbà débẹ̀ ẹni tó máa ṣe gbogbo everything will follow. A lè ṣe yẹn sìn dó àwọn kan sọ pé kẹta lè ṣe bá àwọn gómìnà wa ló ń ṣe gbàgbẹ́jẹ́ anyway. Kò sígbà tí mi ti ní pè yín wá my very good friend of 35 years. I'm very proud to say it. For me, it's additional gift látọ̀dọ̀ Elédùmarè. Torí àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi wà tẹ́ pàdé ara yín within short period oníkàkú ti bá tiẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀dẹ̀ ríra yín mọ́. But this time around, I'm so proud of my friend. Ẹ bá mi yọ 76 ẹ bá ṣe it doesn't look 76 I'm not too sure. I'm looking forward to mine. Kólúwa kó mú mi gbogbo wa dúró in another 3 months, 3rd of March. I will also hopefully and prayerfully celebrate myself.
Èmi ò gbàgbé yẹn, ó wà nù fóònù mi. Ó wà nù fóònù mi.
Ṣé gbogbo
accelerometer tó bá
I know. Like I said, Alex, you beat me to it yesterday. Láàárọ̀ ìjọ ó dùn mí gan because 12 because I was so busy doing many things. So yẹn ló fà bẹ́ẹ̀. I want to appreciate you.
Never mind.
Gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa àmì
kó má pẹ́ kó tó yé wa pé ìlú wa la fẹ́.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Sọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá kíní èmi fẹ́ kí n lè rìn freely nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí n má bẹ̀rù pé mò ń travel pé ṣé ẹ ti gbúrò nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́nà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n máa ń kí n bá tún sáré padà. Is that the kind of life we want to live?
Of course not. Of course
not.
not.
We need a sovereign Yoruba nation. Not just Yoruba nation, sovereign Yoruba nation, where we can make decisions for ourselves, where we can develop for ourselves, where we can employ thousands of young men and women in the various fields, in construction, in dam building, in solar panel installations, in wind energy development and resources, and many other things to follow. Research centers for agricultural productivity, and resource centers for agricultural development, where farmers can go and borrow machines to work on their farms. Not what we are seeing now. I understand some years back, some machines were bought in Oyo State, and the farmers have to come and pay. It shouldn't be like that.
Thank you very much. I have to go now because of the time. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not going to be here another 76 years, but I can tell you for free, as time goes on, so very soon, Alagba Elédùmarè, come together again. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you all for having me today.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ẹ ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi o. Ẹ bá mi share o. Ẹ bá mi share kún gbogbo everybody o. Ẹ ṣé.